See the beauty of Mother Earth disappearing. Hear the voice of freedom fading. Witness the spirit of mind suffering. How much more natural resource has to be exhausted? How many more people have to be sacrificed? How many more souls have to be destroyed? We are one with all on this planet. Breathtaking is the first impression of viewing Life's Crossroad, a 46-piece sculpture series made not of marble, brass, nor fiberglass, but of the blackened trunks of cedar trees left lifeless by a scorching fire. Silent and motionless, these dead trees come once again to life as moving artworks with a powerful message. They are the work of Gong Yuebin, who would bring their message to the rest of us. There is a Chinese saying, "To understand the present, we must know the past." Let's learn more about the artist and his story to understand his artwork better. The inspiration for Life's Crossroad rose from Gong Yuebin's childhood dream for life with dignity and respect. During the 1960s and 70s, Gong and his family were forced to leave city life and live in exile in a rural village in northern China. They endured hunger, physical hardship, emotional pain, and political persecution. Life devoid of love and compassion drove Gong to bond with nature. Behind his house, a small dirt hill eroding from rain became his friend. And 16 peach trees, his playmates, consoled his loneliness. When the political movement was over, Gong grew into adulthood and returned to city life. In the early 1980s, after graduating from an art college, he moved to southern China, where rapid economic growth brought more freedom and personal choice in life. Gong transformed himself from an academic into an accomplished commercial art designer and a successful businessman. In 2002, after recovering from a serious illness, he resolved to retire and to move to America to rediscover himself and his art. In California, Gong slowly began a new life, free of superfluity, busyness, and self-seeking. In tranquility, he searched for the true essence of life. Over 3.5 months, Gong visited major art museums and galleries in the U.S. After 20 years away, he determined that it was, at last, time to fulfill his childhood dream through art. But he sought new modes of expression. He did not touch any of the rice paper brought from China. The Chinese-style ink painting on paper, featuring natural scenes and human characters, goes back more than 1,000 years. But Gong felt it inadequate to express the sentiments and thoughts of the 21st century. His departure from this traditional art form does not mean a farewell to his Chinese roots, because his childhood dreams inspired him to express his respect for life in his own way. Gong looked for more natural and pure media for art creation that can touch people's hearts and transcend any limitation of culture, form, and ideology. Gong thought about using vines. They appear soft and feeble, but are a very resilient and strong survivor, a perfect metaphor of human life. But he would not destroy life to create art. Then, one day, when he stood in front of 16,000 acres of forest in the aftermath of a wildfire on the Sierra Mountains, Gong was astonished by the sight. The mass collection of black, dead trees moved Gong's heart. He saw the struggle of life at the moment of death. If those trees could talk, what would they tell us of life and death, or of the wildfire that had slain them, leaving only ruined, black-clad trunks? In their presence, he heard an echo of their painful moaning and screaming before death. Or was it a cry for life from their souls? For a month and a half, Gong visited the mountain every day. With cane in hand, he walked every foot of the blackened forest and conversed with every tree trunk still standing. Under the changing lights of the sun and the moon, Gong listened to the motionless and lifeless trees. In the cold, silvery moonlight, every charcoal tree trunk seemed a dead soul returned to tell its story and charging Gong to bear witness to humanity. The dead trees seemed to be sending a message about life and death for humanity and for nature, and offered their own scorched remains as a medium for communication. Upon returning to his studio in Sacramento, Gong checked statistics of death tolls from wars. It seemed obvious to him that if the fallen soldiers and casualties of wars in the last 1,000 years came back to life, they would tell the same stories as those trees.